Okay, so we thought that we would be original and put a 3126 cat in our F350, and welcome to the internet where everything's been done before. We got Drew.
How's it going, man?
Good, how are you?
Good. So what do you got?
That's the 91 F350 dually. I had the 7.3 IDI in it, and I swapped it out for a 3126.
Oh. Drives all the way from New York, 5 hours to do what Timmy's running. He doesn't drink coffee. Well, this is my biggest letdown of the whole day, actually. All right, so we know you guys are dying for update videos on our F350 cat swap. I want to tell you guys right now that we're getting everything sorted out in the background and starting to make some videos before we release anything. The engine's getting rebuilt at Northtown Machine, taking 2 engines, putting into one, and we're gonna go into full depth videos with Scott to show you guys everything that's involved. Found somebody to rebuild that 2000 transmission, which is a lot smaller. It's turning into a 6-speed. That thing's getting sent out, and when we have everything kind of figured out and our project's under control at the shop, we'll dig full tilt into this one. In the meantime, we wanted to show you guys Drew's F350. He was, I think, the first one to put a 3126 into a Ford. He drove all the way from New York to show us his ride. So if you guys need your fix on 3126 cats, Drew's got a channel of his own, and he's got the entire build process on his channel. So go check it out. In the meantime, finish this video and see what I think about it. Here we go. Very, very cool. There she is. Yeah. So you got a YouTube channel too?
I did a whole build series on the truck. Basically documented everything.
Right on. You said that you were following us for a while, probably long before we were talking about a 3126. So what was your reaction when we said we're not doing the 7.3, we're doing the cat?
Yes.
Yeah?
Someone else.
Oh, okay.
There's not many of them out there, you know, there's only a few, so
yeah.
Nowhere else to get ideas from. You're basically on your own. I was excited to see how you were going to do it. See what you were going to do differently and what you might do the same, but...
Yeah, so take us through how did it come about? And...
I bought the truck for a project I was doing at home. I was building a retaining wall, needed something to haul some stone. Okay. So I wanted something that was dually, diesel, dump bed, and this was what I could afford. So
with the IDI? With
the IDI, started having issues with it, hard starts. So started looking at swap options, and not many cats out there. Figured I wanted to be different.
Right on. So this is school bus?
Yep, came out of a school bus, Freightliner, FS65 or something like that. Got the Allison AT 545. I'd definitely do that different if I could. No overdrive, no lockup converter. So it's got 410 gears, and with the factory tires on it, I maybe did like 50 miles an hour downhill. So I'll put the 22.5s on to get a little more speed out of it. So now I can do like 65.
It is 4-wheel drive.
Yeah, once I get the front drive shaft made.
Okay, so you've got Deboss transfer case?
Deboss transfer case came out of a 77 F350 Highboy. Okay. So a little stub shaft between the two.
So which drive shafts are you running then?
It was a custom made one. So it's got the school bus U-joint on one end. I don't even know what size it is, but it's huge. Yeah. And then like a 1330 on the other end.
Okay, and then the rest is just Ford?
Yeah.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah, I had them put a slip yoke on the front of it and a 1330 on the front of that.
Nice. And then clearancing.
I put a 3-inch body lift just to kind of help things fit right. And I ended up bashing in the firewall a little bit there to get it to fit. Could have brought the engine a little bit further forward, but at the time I didn't know exactly where the radiator was going to be. So
we got the MD 3060, which is massive. It's way bigger than this little girl. And I'm wondering about clearances on the floor with that. I don't want to cut the floor all out. I'm looking at different transmissions, seeing if there's a smaller option that can still handle the torque that we're putting out. Yeah, because looking here, I can see almost 3 inches on top of your transmission. It fit in pretty nice.
There's a lot of room down there.
So yeah, then it's pretty straightforward. What about suspension on the front? You do anything?
I added 2 leaves to the front and quite a bit heavier than the factory stuff, and then I added the bumper. And the guy at the spring shop looked at me like I was crazy when I told him I was adding 2 leaves. He goes, "It's your back, not mine." I'm like, no.
But people don't realize how many quarts of oil does it take?
It takes 8 gallons.
So that adds up too. People don't understand. And then the cooling system's bigger. The IDI is like 800 pounds or something like that, 900.
Somewhere in there.
Yeah, so you're adding another 300-400 pounds to the front, and then the bumper on top of that yet.
Transfer case, those it's an MP205.
Yeah.
And they're not light.
No, that's true. Nice. Right on. Let's fire it up. You never go in that door, do you?
No. You really gotta slam them too.
Chevy seats. I can't believe how well they match the door panel. It's like they were meant for this track. Yeah. They're still by far the most comfortable seats. Such a smooth ride, right? 2 springs in the front. Did you do anything to the back?
No.
Nothing to the back? That's not bad at all.
I mean, there are some roads you get on and you just about get air off the bridges, but
it's definitely not like half-ton suspension. It's you feel it.
It's no Cadillac.
No. Cruise works?
Yeah, it's on the other side. The fuel switch down is set and then up is resumed. Okay. Yeah, it just wires right into the ECU.
So down is set. Nice. That's awesome. And then you have to give it the brake light in.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, and that's all just simple wiring diagram you found online, right?
Yep.
Yeah, very cool. And then the fans, because it had the mechanical fan, how do you have them rigged up to turn on?
The Cat ECU actually has an output for a cooling fan.
Really?
Yeah.
Nice.
So I wanted to go with that because it monitors like 3 different things, you know, your intake temperature and your coolant temperature, and if you had an exhaust brake, it would come on with that. So it monitors a bunch of stuff, so I figured go with that instead of a mechanical switch.
Right.
It works the opposite of how you would think.
Okay.
So it supplies 12 volt positive to shut the fans off.
Oh.
Because most trucks use, you know, like an air solenoid.
Yeah. So when does the cat tell it to turn on?
205.
Okay, and you barely ever get there.
During the summer it will, but with as cold as it is, today we hardly broke 190 coming up here.
Yeah, like my Cummins, I don't even have fans on it. I did have fans on it, they did work, and the only time they come on was when I'm stuck in traffic, and I'm not moving, right? And even then it doesn't really get hot. And then we needed fans for the Audis, so I took them off. I just never put it back on again. I'm so mesmerized by your truck that they're not even looking at me.
Oh, you get a lot of looks.
Yeah, the sound too. So it's neat driving the Cummins and the Silverado because the people that know, they're like, that's not Duramax, what's going on there, right?
Yeah.
But this doesn't sound like anything. This is just, it's loud enough and the rumble enough to sound like a Cummins sort of inline 6, but it's just different. What exhaust do you have on it?
5-inch straight pipe.
No muffler whatsoever?
No muffler. My neighbors love it when I go to work at 5 in the morning.
Sounds mean. Everybody's worried about these swaps because it's electronic, got all these wires, but it's pretty straightforward.
Yeah, it's pretty simple. There's 2 positives, constant powers going to the ECM. There's 1 ignition source and then 2 grounds, and that's all you really need to fire it up.
A wiring diagram's easy enough to find online. I saw it too. I'm like, it can't be any easier. People are scared, but there's no VATs, there's no nothing. But the transmission, how's the transmission shift?
It's all mechanical.
It's all mechanical.
That's kind of what I liked about the AT545. There's no wiring. Hook it up. It's got a neutral switch or reverse pressure switch and a modulator. Never heard it run. Just picked it up, took it home. Before I did all this, I fired it up on the floor in the garage, so just to be sure. But I ended up having to put an oil pump in it. Around that.
Okay.
That's all I've done to it.
Right on. So just straight eBay stuff.
Yeah.
Hoses, fittings, and so you didn't have an oil filter either?
No, there's one down.
Oh, okay. Oh, so you got 2. Okay. You left the compressor on it. And that's just for...
My parking brake is a brake can. So the brake can pulls on the cable and actuates the parking brake.
Okay.
Originally I had a manual line lock that I was going to try to use for the parking brake.
Yeah.
So I ran the rear into there and then...
So you'd step on the brake and then tighten it and then just let go of the brake?
It never...
That's pretty smart, actually. Yeah, so for us, choosing the 3126, it was because it was in the yard, right? It's that's part of our staying within budget is like, yeah, we can afford that one and it's there. So, but the budgets get out of hand pretty quick. Did you keep a tally of what you got into it?
My wife did.
Yeah? But you're still married, so it can't be that bad.
It was close.
Yeah?
She said if we didn't have the kid, it would have been
Really?
I don't want to be seen in this thing.
You heard it there. Having kids saves relationships. If you're having trouble, just have a kid.
I don't know if that's good advice.
Once it's running and it's working, if you abandoned it, it'd be a whole lot different. Because you can throw 10 grand into it, but if it's not running and moving, there's no way you're getting that back. Now here's the test whether it's quiet enough to order. How do you take your coffee?
I don't drink coffee.
Can I get a medium double, please? That's it. I think she got it. You don't want anything else?
No, I'm good.
All right.
Thanks.
Drives all the way from New York, 5 hours to do what Timmy's running. He doesn't drink coffee. Well, this is my biggest letdown of the whole day, actually. So, what's left to do on the truck?
Just a lot of little stuff. I should probably put side steps on so my wife can get in and out.
And the heat. So
Yeah.
no air conditioning, obviously.
Yeah, no air conditioning. The heat kind of works sometimes. My plan is I got a Venturi, and I was going to use the air system to suck down the system and use that for my vacuum instead of putting like a pump on it.
Yeah. That's what I was thinking. Like, wondering if it's using enough air that you can just put it like right behind the air filter, and there's got to be a little bit of vacuum there, or even like build a tube around the air filter and then stick it in there, because it would suck that, right?
Yeah.
A little bit of an exhaust leak.
It smells like it.
Yeah, I think you gotta just a little. It can't be a Ford without an exhaust leak. Just blame the manifold.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, that was another issue with the Ford, is no cup holders.
Yeah.
Which is really, really dumb. So we're gonna put a different interior in it, like you.
Yeah.
The best thing about Fords is when you take all the Ford pieces out.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're not even on your first oil change yet.
No. 8 gallons can go forever.
Yeah. Any leaks or anything?
I think there's a leak on the Huey pump. I don't know, like a pressure relief or something that goes into it, and that drips a little oil. Cam followers, there's some covers on the side, those all leak.
Yeah, and they're trouble, I guess. Have you set the valves and that on it?
No.
Just drive it.
Just drive it.
How does it start in the winter?
It's been starting good. This morning it was 18 degrees when we left.
Yeah.
I didn't have it plugged in. I had a battery charger on it just to be safe.
Yeah.
But
Nice.
No block heater. It fired right up.
Right on. Do you have the wait to start light wired in too, or you just
It's wired in. I had to put a diode in it. It was somehow backfeeding through the light and sending power to it all the time.
Oh yeah.
So I had to put a diode in, but yeah, it works now.
Okay.
Like
Pretty
100
cool. We got the same engine as that thing.
Yeah.
Love it. It's actually definitely missing those last 2 gears, but not bad for the 190 horse and not touching the engine at all. Drew, I'm disappointed you didn't want a coffee, but thanks a lot for making the drive out. We really appreciate it, guys. Check out Drew Baby 625. It's a nickname from high school. Don't ask why. Got the full build on there. If you guys have projects that you guys want on the channel, if you built it or fixed it or whatever, you're proud of it, we want it on the channel. Fill out the link down below, and then we'll plot it on our map if we're in the area, or if you're within driving range and want to swing in, then we can set that up. Remember, get out there, wrench, finish it, build it, and then drive it. Enjoy the thing. Thank you very much, Drew.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, safe travels home. Thanks a lot.